ring, banana phone.
Someone better pick that up, because we called it again.
We're not maybe right about everything. But a while back, Sage and I, we had a video where we were talking about people who are going to be after Azerite, and people who will be influential in the pre-launch to Battle for Azeroth, and then going after Battle for Azeroth. And on the 7.3.5 PTR, there was discovered some files about a rare elite NPC who dropped something special. But before we get to what he drops or the NPC and everything else like that, I just want to point out in the video here, look at the title above this NPC's head, Twilight's Hammer. Twilight's Hammer Cult are still alive and active in Silithus. We're going to see that they're after something. There's our Twilight Hammer logo. They're still here. Yes, they were in Silithus to begin with, but Sage and I said, if you're there at Ground Zero and you see what's going to happen, you're going to be some of the first there to try to harvest that power.
Well, and we even pointed this out a while back while we were exploring Silithus before the sword dropped, was that their levels had been raised.
Mm-hmm.
No other NPCs around the area had been buffed up to current level, except for the Twilight Hammer.
And here they are.
They're back again.
Yep, 7.3.5, ready to go. So, as we dive in, the NPC's name is Ogmont the Mad, and he is an ogre with the Twilight's Hammer group, and you can find him in Silithus walking around. Now, if you kill this rare elite, he's going to drop an item called the Visions of Ogmont the Steadfast, which is different. It's intriguing that he is titled Ogmont the Mad, but he drops Visions of Ogmont the Steadfast, as if to say there was kind of a degradation of who he was versus who he is now. And we can see this degradation as we're going to read through his journal today. And as we know of Blizzard, big hints and big things come from small places.
Oh yeah. And let me tell you, this journal is a page turner.
It is. It really is. As you read the item, it says the handwriting is barely legible, and the primitive sketches contained within are at best described as unsettling. So let's go ahead, and what we're going to do is Sage and I are going to read through each page of the journal, and we're going to kind of give our thoughts, and you're going to see some throwbacks to stuff that, Il'gynoth said way back when, and then we're also going to see some tie-ins to possible stuff in the future here and some speculation. So here we go. The old gods are coming. Let us wave the banner again. Just like Ned Stark in winter.
They're coming.
And they're coming hard. So here we go, page 1. I was a mere boy fighting at the war camp when the masters first blessed me with their visions. I have come to Silithus, to the site of the great wound, seeking wonders beyond imagining. Make me your vessel, masters.
This is more of just a preface. He talking about his past and the visions that he's had. Now, we haven't gotten to it quite yet, but these visions are quite clearly from the old gods themselves.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And we see this, I have come to Silithus, to the site of the great wound, seeking wonders beyond imagining. Make me your vessel, masters. So here we have somebody who serves the old gods, saying, make me your vessel, and he is seeking the wonders beyond imagining. So the old gods are already influencing this person, Ogmont, to be here and to seek out things like Azerite and everything else from the wound. Page 2. Last night I dreamt of two great armadas clashing upon an ocean of blood. Shadows writhed beneath them, rising. I smiled in my sleep. Why did the skittering of insects have to stir me? Damn those bugs. No matter, we will finish what they began. This is a very interesting page.
Yeah, first of all, we have basically the top line talking about Battle for Azeroth.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, two great armadas, Horde and Alliance, clashing upon an ocean of blood.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we both know that Horde and Alliance are sailing off to get allies from Kul'Tiras and Zandalar.
Mm-hmm.
And then we move on to shadows breathed beneath them, rising. Well, who do we know who happens to live in the ocean?
Exactly. And what type of shadows, the servants of the Void Lords, are there. So we see some kind of maybe hints that ends off there. And then we get to this line. Why did the skittering of insects have to stir me? Damn those bugs. No matter, we will finish what they began. So the bugs are still in Silithus now in 7.3.5 PTR. And what did the bugs start? Well, who did the bugs serve? They're talking about the Karaji.
Yeah, and the Karaji are the direct minions of Cthulhu.
And so we will finish what they began. Well, they were working on resurrecting Cthulhu and unleashing the old god's power. So now we have the Twilight's Hammer Clan, or the servant of the old gods, who is in the Twilight's Hammer Clan now, saying, we will finish what they began. So you can bet your butt that there's going to be some old god activity in 7.3.5. Maybe not like up front and right in our face, but it's going to be an undertone that's there that we're going to be able to feel. Page 3. Life returns to this dead place. First, the bugs came. So this is talking about the return, not like in the original time, but the bugs now start to crawl back out of the sand. First the bugs came. Now goblins skulk about. And we see that kind of in our book from Christy Golden. The goblins are there measuring things up, talking about eliminating competition. They're there measuring Azurite and stuff like that. It is the blood they crave, the blood of the planet Azeroth, Azurite. I am sure of it. Bah, let them have these drippings. Soon there will be seas enough to sate every thirst. Seas of Azeroth's blood. So apparently, Ogmot has had visions where he has seen seas of Azeroth's blood, enough to sate every thirst. So not just the Horde, not just the Alliance, but the Twilight Hammer and anyone seeking it. That doesn't bode well for Azeroth at all, let alone the old gods possibly seeking this as well.
Well, and this goes to back up what we've been saying since the announcement of Battle for Azeroth. This isn't just a battle between the Horde and the Alliance for who rules Azeroth. This is a battle for Azeroth's life.
And this kind of points there too. So then page 4. Today the smoke rose from my campfire and took form. A shepherd, cloaked in the shadows of her past, beloved by a flock of blind sheep. They followed her footsteps without question, without thought. She guided them over a cliff. Even as they crashed upon the rocks, they never doubted her. The crows grew fat upon sheep flesh. Her laughter echoed all around.
So there's a few people I think that this could apply to. I think most people will point the finger at either Jaina or Sylvanas.
I am going to point at Azeroth herself. Because we have those other lines from Il'gynoth and other things that say, you know, our power comes from beneath. Maybe she's already infected. Maybe what lies down below is already, you know, screwed up. Although the Azurite is coming out nice and gold and blue, maybe it's a Titan soul. A shepherd that they blind follow. All of us are a flock that blindly try to save Azeroth, both Horde and the Alliance. I'm going to go with Azeroth on this one. I could also see Sylvanas in this thing, but somebody is leading somebody else astray here. And Ogmot has seen that vision from the old gods. Page 5, the Blade's eye watches all. Why do you not see? The first of his lies has been offered. Bound by a throne, no, boundless. The next will come soon. Now, unfortunately, we said, oh, pick up the phone because we were right about the Twilight Hammer Clan and the old gods, like we did, but we were also maybe wrong. We threw out a video where we kind of speculated that Rathian could be the boy king and that he could have already thrown out 3 lies. Now here we see the first of his lies has been offered. That could be one of the ones that we already talked about, but I'm guessing it has to do more with 7.3.5, according to this book. But it still could be Rathian, because it says bound by a throne, no, boundless.
I think what this does confirm is it's probably not Anduin.
Exactly. Because Anduin is bound by a throne.
Yeah.
Whoever the boy king is, he is boundless and not bound by a throne, which points back to me leaning more towards Rathian still. Maybe not that he's already offered us lies. Maybe he has, maybe he hasn't, because it says it's already been offered. But I'm going to really keep my money on Rathian with it. Because he is not bound to a throne. He is the king of a dragonflight. He is the Black Prince, but is he bound by a throne? No. So then we move on to page 6. A band of cultists arrived. Do they comprehend my blessing? My greatness? Now this is interesting because this distincts him from the rest of the Twilight Hammer cultist. This is Ogmot.
Yeah.
He is somehow more connected, he believes, to the old gods than even their own cult. Did they understand my greatness? They speak of Argus, of one who was awakened, of the victory that went unnoticed. They speak of Argus, of the one who was awakened, of the victory that went unnoticed. So apparently the old gods were already impending all of this, a victory about Argus in the battle that went unnoticed. I shared my vision, but the skinny one just laughed. I do not like her. I have no clue what this is referring to. The skinny one laughed, I do not like her.
Yeah, this one's a real head scratcher. And even they speak of Argus, of the one who was awakened. Are they talking about Argus itself, or perhaps some sort of aftermath from it?
Could be
maybe even Cthulhu's back.
Exactly. Could be anything. If you guys have any comments down below to help us figure out, especially the skinny one that just laughed, I do not like her, give us some feedback. We'd love to brainstorm with you guys down below on this page 6 here. Page 7, many days have passed without a vision. Have I displeased you, masters? I will leave you a sacrifice, remember me. Now here's where we kind of see this downhill fall for Ogmot here, from going steadfast to mad. And at best it screams, notice me, senpai.
Yeah, I don't think there's really much to pick apart with this.
And then we go to page 8. The stars peer down, I must hide from its glare. The dagger spoke true, it has been too long since I was drowned. Do not forsake me, masters. The stars peered down, I must hide from its glare. So it said, to find him, drown yourself in a circle of stars. Il'gynoth did.
Yeah.
And here we see this reference back to stars and drowning, which could be tied to Il'gynoth, might not be. But Sage, you had an interesting point about a circle of stars and stars peering down.
So, now that we have finally seen the pantheon of the Titans in its full, notice they sit pretty much in a circle, and the pantheon itself, the Titans, are celestial bodies. They are pretty much star beings.
And they are peering down upon from the heavens. The dagger spoke true. I believe this is a throwback to Zalatath. And remember, we already know this, that we were right about this. Sage and I said that we will have to use our artifact weapons to seal up the wound. We said Zalatath would not be used in that process because the black dagger always finds a way to get away from its masters.
Yeah.
And it serves the old gods. So the dagger spoke true. Somehow, my guess is this Ogmot has come into contact with Zalatath somehow. And it has been too long since I was drowned. Drown yourself in the circle of stars to find them. Do not forsake me, masters. Notice me, senpai. Again. Then we get to the bones were picked clean, yet I still am granted no insight. The others scoff. They question my devotion. But I am the chosen vessel. I will not lose faith. Another sacrifice. Yes, one more to them will not be missed. Pretty straightforward. Maybe some people in the Twilight cult doubting Ogmot. But
And
Ogmot,
it sounds like he killed one of his cultist friends.
I agree. I totally agree. Another sacrifice. One more of them will not be missed. Yeah, heads up.
Actually, thinking about it, I think I know who the skinny one was, going back to that. I bet that was the first sacrifice.
Oh, hey, that's not a bad idea. And then we get to the final page. Roused by her screams, stirred by their whispers, a blessing from the masters, at last I understand. A door, a path, ours, fool, the circle has awakened us all. This is huge. Roused by her screams, I'm going to put my money on Azeroth's screams, as she lays there suffering with the stab. Stirred by their whispers, the old gods, a blessing from the masters, a blessing from the void lords. At last I understand. And here we go, back to Il'gynoth again. A door, a path, ours. 5 lamps light the way. They unlock our coming. So it kind of goes back to that thing we talked about. Old gods, did we do all this? Did the old gods know every single move? Because it talked about Argus earlier in the journal and his unnoticed victory. Was this all calculated by them? Every step of the way, did they whisper and encourage Magni along the way, and everything set into motion so that we would free them? And then the last line is, fool, the circle has awakened us all.
Which, again, could go back to the Pantheon. It was their actions that led to, essentially, Sargeras stabbing the wound in Silithus, unleashing the Azerite. You know, there's a good chance, had that not happened, the old gods might not have had the power to awaken.
Exactly. So when they go to pull Sargeras off of Azeroth, he gives his last-ditch effort and stabs. The circle, the Pantheon, has awakened us all. And that's where all this blood's going. I think we're onto it. I think the old gods are still coming back supercharged, and I think they're going to play a major role even building into Battle for Azeroth as we look through this tiny little journal full of just nice hints and juicy information.
I think you're going to see it with Battle for Azeroth. It's going to start with embers like this, but by the end of it, we are going to have an inferno of old gods.
There you go. Sage and I are laying down the gauntlet again on the old gods. It's coming. Just like the little gnome in Hearthstone. They're coming!
Yep, so keep an eye out. We'll see if we're right, if we're wrong, and either way, check back for more content. And be sure to like and subscribe.
And share with a friend. Sharing is caring. Do it.
Thanks for watching.